Welcome to the last winter of the new moon energy in this beginning of the year. Alright. This is a moon phase reading. This is the new moon energy, and we are still in winter, about to get to spring, but this is the time of void. This is the time of darkness right before the dawn. It is always darkest right before the dawn, especially in these winter times, where in winter we don't have as many days, we have more nights, and so we have more darkness. It is vitally important we learn to be the beacon of light in our own lives at this time, for this is the void. This is isolation. This is the cold, the bitter cold frost of loneliness and despair that we all have to work through. This is the time where we are alone. We have no one but ourselves, especially now in the year of 2026, the year of one. That's individual. That means you. You gotta be at your best. And so, the universe sends us trauma and tragedy to force us to be at our best through these trying circumstances, through these events that we never wanted. Through this isolation, we find ourselves. We become the best versions of ourselves. And that is the purpose of the Dark Night. To transmute despair into hope. And that is what you need to do. Tonight you have to be that beacon of hope, because no one else will be in this moment of time. And so I have a tarot reading for you to try to inspire that within yourself, to bring a little bit of hope to you in the darkness. Okay, welcome to a moon phase reading. This is a new moon energy, new moon phase 11 of 2026, March 18th. This is a very interesting time. Now, let me show you. I got the Fae Tarot. This is a deck I'm going to use as an oracle deck. I got the Gilded Tarot Royale, a deck I'm using as a tarot deck. And I've got my own psychic test cards to represent the energies of tonight's moon phase reading. If you'd like to purchase your own, they are available for purchase on my website, jEsTeRJaMiSeN.inc. And you can click on the link, and that will lead you to my card shop on MakePlayingCards.com, where I got these. I will be doing more cards in my future, but right now I got these. And so, tonight I will represent the energies with these cards. This is Moon Phase 11, the new moon of 2026, March 18th, and we got the new moon energy representing fire. That is what all the new moons represent. We are also in Pisces season in March 18th of 2026. We are in Pisces season, and Pisces represents water. So we got that on the table. And we are also currently in winter. This is the last moon phase reading of 2026 in winter time before winter happens again. So the new moon after the waxing moon after this new moon will be in spring. So this is like the final darkness before the sunrise. And so this is like extra dark. You know, it's always darkest before the dawn. And here's super darkness time. You know, winter is very dark. And we got the water. And we got the Pisces, which is also introspection, dreams. We got the darkness here with the water. This is like under the water. But then we got the full moon. I mean, not the full moon. The burning moon. The new moon. The element of fire. This is the time of bleeding. You know, the time of periods. as opposed to new moon energy, the time of ovulation and pregnancies. This is the time of bleeding, the time of shadows, the time of behind the scenes of what's hidden. And so, got extra water on the table, like everything's below the surface, but we got this boiling energy. So there's like a volcano under the water, boiling away, getting ready. This is behind the scenes. Something's ready to erupt, but it's still under the surface. Okay, so how this is going to work is I'm going to draw 3 of these, and 3 of these to clarify what these are. Alright, new moon energy, darkest before the dawn. Let's see what we got for moon phase 11. And right after I said moon phase 11, I saw 333 on my recording. 33 is a multiple of... Ooh, look at that. I got 3 cards right here. Okay. So it originally kind of went like that. Should I take them like this? Or like that? Either way, it's the same. This one I feel like leadership energy. But that might come at the end. What do you think? What do you think? Should it go like this? Should it go like this? Golly, I don't know. This card just feels really important. Wherever it is on the table, either here or here. And I don't know if something's leading up to that, like it goes 1, 2, 3, or if it's 3, 2, 1. So let's save the important thing over here. So maybe it's like order of events. I don't know. I don't know what these are. I kind of want to draw these cards so I'm not too influenced. Alright. What do we got? What do we got? Always darkest before the dawn. We don't know anything. Oh gosh. Just don't want to be combined. Oh no. Let's try that again. Okay. Alright. Wow. I'm getting interference now. Interesting, interesting. Okay. You know, sometimes I see some other tarot readers knock on their cards like this, and it just kind of feels nice to like get the card energies in line. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Okay. Alright, let's... Ooh. Oh, wow. Fortune. I wanted to go there. Gosh, you just see that? Fantastic energy. Ooh. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and yet we got the 10 of Pentacles. Those are the 2 cards. I'm like, Fortune! Wow, did you see that? And then here it is, Fortune in reverse, and yet you got your Fortune upright. This card's mysteriously hidden. Interesting. Well. What do I reveal first? I guess I'll go with this one. I felt important. Interesting. I'm currently playing Subnautica behind the scenes. And so... How interesting. I felt like this was very important. Subnautica is a very important game to me. Huh. There's this blue guy with a sword on his chest. He's very scrawny though. And as a character, I don't particularly like this guy because he's scrawny and it just seems like a guy going through puberty for the first time. It's kind of like annoying kind of energy. Like he's finally discovering emotions under the surface. Like he's never had emotions before. It's young energy. I particularly don't like this card. However, it's to each their own. Whatever. We got water on the table. Okay, here's a masculine water character standing in water. There's just this red sword with the fire. So this is probably a very fitting card to be drawn at this time, actually. 818 on the recording. Okay. Oh, and it's 9:19 in the morning. I'm recording this out of time, by the way. So for me, it's April 5th right now. However, for you, well, you're in the future, but for this reading, this is 2026, March 18th. So, it's winter card time. And what is it, Pisces? Pisces, the dreamer, the thinker, the fish. And so this is a fish boy in the element of winter, and with the fiery sword on his chest, like the moon. Very, very Piscean, I suppose. Look at this. This is like the treasure, the sunken treasure under the water, like the pirate treasure thing. Maybe someone out there needs to play a video game. That's the realm of the mind. So, and treasures aren't just, money. It can be the treasure of adventure. Like Subnautica, for example, is a video game. And the deeper you go, the more you discover, the more you face your fears, the more things are known. And it's rewarding to go through an adventure, to overcome your fear. This is a guy on the surface of the water, and yet if you go below the water, then things, open up to reveal something more special, to something to be treasured. So, yeah, there's an element to face your fears here, because we got the under the surface kind of meaning right there. Okay, so now we got the Wheel of Fortune here in reverse. So things feel like they're not going your way, right? And in the Subnautica game, you're kind of stranded. In the video game, the character is stranded there, so it appears like things are not going your way. But once you dive beneath the surface, like there's treasures to be found. There's things that are wonderful, but you have to get over that fear. You have to go exploring for it. And so your tower moment, the things that they're not in your control, the things that look like a disaster, leads to your reward, your adventure. So let's clarify the disaster. Oh, wow. Okay. So this card. How interesting. Okay. This character doesn't have much, and the little thing they did is sprouting. It's like if you do something very little, and you're finally proud of it, you have achieved something, and yet it's in reverse. Now, I'll get onto that for a second. Let me complete my other thought first. I'll just do that. Anyway, I said I'm trying not to say ums. Okay, so, in this card, if here, you put in the effort, you're watching things happen. Like, if you just set up some lights in your room, and you turn off the lights, and you look at turn off the main light and look at the little tiny lights glowing in the darkness, then you're proud of your accomplishment, and yet this is in reverse. And it's like the little effort is not paying out, especially with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. your thing that you were trying to construct kind of fell apart. So things weren't going your way. Or maybe what you should find a lot of pride and satisfaction from, your efforts, you're just not feeling the payoff out of it, like posting a video that no one watches, no one interacts with, especially positively. It's like you're putting all that effort and not seeing any results out of it. In opposed to this energy where you are seeing results from your action and you're happy about the new beginning. Here you're not seeing any results, and it's demotivating. The Wheel of Fortune is like not in your favor. And yet in the Subnautica game, when you okay, so I'm gonna mention, just as a side note, let me focus on Subnautica first. Okay, Subnautica. With the Subnautica game, yeah, at the surface level it's devastating, right? It's just water, but you dive below the surface, you find all these amazing treasures, you start having an adventure, and this looks like a diver, right? It's under the water, finally discovering something that's fascinating. You know, you dive under the surface, like this. You dive into the surface, and through this process of diving, you find more and more wonders and enjoyment, even though the Wheel of Fortune is not in your favor. And now, just as a side note for myself, well, I started my YouTube channel, not finding a lot of success with it. I'm not getting the attention from doing my tarot readings, from indulging in my spirituality, in myself, doing my vlogs and my tarot readings. I'm not seeing this. It's very much like, it feels like the universe is against me, and yet I am a gamer at heart. And so when I started my channel, I didn't just want to do the video games and put on a mask and do this foolish jester thing of performance. Sure, I knew that would get attention, but I didn't want to start out that way. I wanted to show me behind the mask first, and that's just not appealing, apparently. And yet I'm doing this Subnautica thing pretty soon on my channel, and it's like there's the money, there's the reward, there's the interest with the Subnautica. But me, my personal story, my spirituality, my tarot readings, I guess no one's interested in that. My point is, like, I start my channel, and like in your situation, this is why I'm telling you my story, is to apply it to your situation. The universe feels very much against me, very much against you, and whatever you're doing, you're putting all this effort and work into something, and you're not seeing it go off. And yet it's very important to you, it's special to you, and that's why you did it. And yet you're not seeing the reward, you're not seeing the payoff of that. And so here's this new adventure, right? This new thing you're working on, which leads to all this abundance, which leads to all this prosperity. And of course, you know, people who find my channel through the video games, if they're interested in me as a person, then they'll find my original content if they're into that. But, you know, I didn't want to just do the video games and then do myself later. I wanted to start with me, because that's what I have, is me, and it's important to my own development, my own growth. It's this foundation that I'm working on, that you and your own story, you're working on your foundation, and yet you're not seeing the growth of it. And yet this is part of your thing. Like, one of these things is like a new project you're working on. You laid the foundation, that no one really sees the foundation because it's hidden, right? It's under the water, it's below the surface, it's behind the scenes, and yet there's this boiling passion, this fire energy under the water. That's, you know, you're doing things behind the scenes to bring to light, to grow, to rise above the surface. So you got this foundation here, and that has made you strong to do all these other projects. And like Subnautica, for example, is one of these projects. Yeah, it's like, it's still behind the scenes. And this project is going to lead to all this abundance and support and wealth and stability that you don't have right now. Because the universe is against you in this moment of time. And so, this is like the now, and this is the later. And so, or possibly the before, and this is the now, and this is the later. So let's see what we get. Which one? Maybe both at the same time. Okay, what do we get? Wow. Look at that. We got the poverty card in between the fallen wheel of fortune. Got the poverty card, and we got the abundance of wealth. We got the little sprout in reverse of withering and decaying, and we got this giant tree that just rises up, and with all these decorations and everything, like you're rising out of poverty, and you know the nourishing waters of creation and abundance. So yeah, you're going from poverty to riches right here because of your passion project, because you put in the time to do this foundational work that no one values, no one sees, no one respects, no one helps you, no one tends to you. And you probably watered this thing with your tears of misery and loneliness, which is right here. But anyway, you put the time in to do this foundational work. You know, you're exhausted, you got your little shovel there. Here's the foundation. And because you put in that foundational work that no one respected, that no one valued, and no one was there for you, well, now your tree is going to grow amazingly strong. It's going to be able to do all the storms. You know, it's a very strong foundation. And now you're adding on to the foundation. Now you're turning this card around and doing little projects. Little tiny things. It's still, like, you branched out in your early beginning, and yet still no one sees it, no one notices. Until the tree grows even bigger and bigger, and this is like all the little projects on your foundation, adding up. And so, you know, the universe was against you. The universe had a grudge against you for being so kind and amazing, and it left you in a state of misery. And you are now in a position, or you were in a position, of having to ask for help to pay the bills, to meet a deadline, to run errands. Like maybe your car broke down or something, and you needed to ask for transportation. You had to seek out help to provide these basic resources that you could not have by yourself because the universe put you in this position. And yet, you chose, in this energy of poverty, you chose to spend your time working on the foundation. Or, if you haven't done this, then this is the sign for you to work on that foundation, because the coming storms in your life might tear this apart if you don't have that solid foundation. You know, it's coming out of the earth already. This is under the surface energy. This is the dark night before the dawn. the new moon energy where it's very dark. It's winter, it's very dark. This is water, it's below the surface, behind the scenes. You need that strong foundation. So either because you worked on this foundation or because you are going to invest in yourself in this foundation, then it will eventually grow into this amazing thing that actually gets attention and respect and love because you provided for this new beginning yourself. And so you go from this situation of poverty into a situation of riches, into health and wellness and prosperity and abundance. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it's also facing fears. You know, on the surface, it's a bit scary to start something new. Especially when the universe is against you, when you don't have resources to spend. But you dive a little deeper, dive below the surface, and with the power of your will, this is willpower right here, the fire element, your willpower gets you below the surface to explore these hidden aspects and to provide a solid base for your foundation. So your situation will change around. What turns the Wheel of Fortune in your favor is physical effort, physical action. You got to work on those products, the projects. So work on your merch. If you're doing merch, work on every single little thing to get that to completion so it's ready to be viewed, so it's ready for the storms. And so the community can be ready to buy, the community can be ready to support, and the tree grows big enough to get the attention. It's like, hey, I exist over here. And it's like, oh, nice, I always wanted a bell. Or here, have my bell. I like you. And so that's the energy of this reading. So it's always darkest before the dawn. This is like, it needs a little extra time to develop in the shadows before it can rise above the surface. This is moon phase number 11, 2026 energy, the year of individuality, the year of loneliness, the year of assertiveness, of new adventures, of new beginnings. This is March 18th. This is the time of Pisces, the time of dreaming, of thinking. This is new moon energy, element of fire, the element of bleeding. This is behind the scenes, this is preparing, this is under the surface, the dark night of the winter. And this is right before the new spring. This is also March. We got the luck of the Irish right here. And here it is, right here. To turn this wheel around, you need more time to develop the foundation, to work on these little projects. And, you know, to branch out, to do more than just one thing. And then the community will come and give you little bells and stars and ribbons, and it will transform your situation from poverty and lack into abundance and wealth. And so, with you being provided for, with you having a stable foundation, then you can make more content, then you can explore more things that you've always dreamed about doing with the Pisces right here, with the mindset of thinking and dreaming and pondering. You got to put that into physical action. You got to make something, create something tangible. Like, you got to post that thing, you got to complete the project. And so this is not the phase of time to be in the idea state. We're past the ideas. You already know what you're doing. You gotta lay that foundation and get these projects completed. And so how interesting it is that Subnautica 2 is coming out very soon in, what is it, May? And I'm recording this currently in April 5th, because time is relative, and so this reading is for March 18th, but for me right now it is April 5th, talking about Subnautica, the Subnautica card right here, and I am currently working behind the scenes for my Subnautica 1 roleplay, and yet Subnautica 2 is being released in May, and we just had a free play weekend for Subnautica 1. They made Subnautica free for a few days to play, which I already had the game for years, but now I'm gonna make content out of it, because now I'm a content creator. So it's just interesting, like, this is below the surface, behind the scenes, right before the exposure, and we get the Subnautica card and the Subnautica game itself. Subnautica 2 is coming out soon, just like my roleplay for Subnautica 1 is coming out soon, just like in your life, whatever your projects are, it's coming out soon. So pay attention to the foundations. You don't ever want to release something when it's not ready, because if you're just rushing for a deadline, then, well, how are you going to feel about releasing something that's not completed? Okay, you want that thing to be completed. And it's better to miss a deadline and then release something that is completed later. So, like, say, Halloween, for example. You missed Halloween, your deadline for Halloween things. Like my tarot reading for every Halloween on every 13. Well, I missed that one. And so, I needed to work on it more to make it into something better. So, just because you miss your deadline doesn't mean you abandon the project. You tend to it more, and then release it when it's ready, and then it will be more amazing. So don't worry about deadlines, and it's a lesson for you for deadlines to say it's intended to be released here or there, but don't say, like, especially if you're printing it on physical media, because you can always update things digitally, like in an update. It's like, oh, well, the project has been set back, and so now it's going to be released here instead of the original date. But if you, like, put it on physical media, like coming spring of this, then it's like bound to spring, and if spring never occurs for that project, then it's more difficult to recover from than if you say coming next or just coming soon and leave it at that on the printed, like, poster that's physically printed. But then the digital stuff you can update, you know, more plasmatically than, like, physically. You're kind of set in stone, and if you don't meet that, then there's disappointment. But yeah, so just be aware to not say, like, coming this specific date. Just say coming soon, and then update that later, saying, well, now things have changed, so now it's coming around this time instead of there. Just as a life lesson. Okay, so absolutely fantastic reading. Your situation is going to make a turnaround. Just put in that time and effort for the foundation. Work on branching out on your projects, on your merch line, and then you'll get the attention you need to survive another day and to actually thrive and turn this wheel upside down, or right side up, or whatever. Remember, dive below the surface. Don't focus on surface level things. Dive deeper, figure out the real meanings, the foundations of the situation. This is like the roots, you know, getting the nutrients. You gotta tend to these things, these physical things, by nurturing yourself. And you know, don't take things for at surface level. You gotta. There's always a deeper story to dive deep and figure out these little treasures. Like on the surface right here, you might feel like you're lacking. There's nothing but water, right? It's a lack mindset. You dive below the surface, and you find all these treasures in your own situation, which then gets you to thrive. So, yeah, with that, it's a fantastic reading for the ending energies of the winter season. Moon Phase 11, 2026, March 18th. The new moon of fire, the zodiac of Pisces, the element of water, the season of winter, the element of water. We got foundations being tended to in the darkness. It's always darkest before the dawn, and you know, the universe was against you, and yet it made you fortify your foundations so you would be strong to weather future storms. And now you're ready to have your adventure and find the wonders and joys and whimsies of life. So, fantastic reading. Be creative, work on your projects, and your endeavors will pay off in the future. Alright. Fantastic. Have a good night. And there you go. There you have it. That was your reading from the darkness. The voice of light cast through the darkness to you. The voice in the darkness that you might have needed, and that I never had. This is the time of darkness. The time where we need to be still. To truly be with ourselves. As lonely as it can be, and at least we're in good company.